P. He's left to fight this alone. Oh, it's a bit of a wide swing, but they'll peek it together. Forsaken puts the second round onto the board with 3 kills. At least something. Maybe they can start looking at curses.
Well, we're going to definitely hope that the 9-3 exists still, that curse. Well, it used to be a big thing. PRX going to have to perform a ritual to bring it back. I'll need to find this round at least, and Tom,
maybe
so
Paper
far,
Thin can do it. I've heard he's pretty good at rituals. I've seen him with the DRX jersey. He's not in the building, so he'll have to. I don't know. It means he can go out in the street and do it. In fact, that's what I want to see.
You want to see Paper Thin in the street doing a ritual?
Yeah. That's what it is.
All right, we'll see if we can
arrange that. That's the
arrange
content I desire.
All right, well, I think you might be the only one. No way he's going straight through it. There's no way. Jonah P's positioning has been unbelievable. Trent, I love you, man.
Oh, okay, he got caught.
Gorgeous play. Yes, he did, but look at the position of Leaf at this point.
Oh, he's going to get revealed.
Okay, he's revealed. He's revealed. He has to break it. Now they know. Now the flash goes through.
Good
Gorgeous.
flash.
Okay, there's the reaction from PRX and the follow-up from Forsaken and Defy. Now they're hitting their stride.
All right,
it might be a little late in the half, but they've got the foundations laid. A pistol could bridge the gap, but they're going to need it.
Yeah, we finally saw some life in the squad, like reading what was going to be done by Jonah P. I think that's the first time that he's actually been caught. And then also Forsaken. Last couple of rounds, really stepping up to the plate. It's a mountain to climb, but luckily, there's a second half after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to half number 2 of map number 2. What could be the last of the series. G2 leading by 6 coming into the second half, Tom. And it has been a masterclass from this squad. Although PRX started to wake up towards the end of that last half. See if they can carry through that momentum here.
But they have to. Again, this is a group where there's a lot of threats. Like EDG and Foot is the game that's going to be played later on. And if this is the level that we're getting, okay, maybe it has been an impressive level on the other side, but I do question whether or not we're going to sit there and go, can they beat either of the teams we'll see play later on?
Well, that's it. If they have a flat performance like this to start it out, but 2 rounds to close out the last half, it's a little injection of hope. The pistol round carries most of it on its back. If PRX don't win this one, again, the home stretch for G2, and we saw it. It was just too far out of reach on Icebox for PRX to come back into. G2 didn't slow down. Barrier's about to go up. The challenge, not to lose 4 players to Jonah P's headshots.
You know what? He doesn't have a sheriff this time, so I'm not a believer. Already, though. Well, yeah, see, it's not a sheriff. Not quite as controlled, aggressive from the defensive side. They've met them outside B, and well, about going to be the retreat. Keeps things even, but neither team is shying away from this. They want to fight. Well, maybe I was wrong. Jonah P with a double. It's not going to be 4, you know, not possible. But it's still pretty good. Last man standing something. Well, I believed in the post plants of G2 throughout the entirety of these series. And I don't think I'm going to start not believe now.
I don't really care what the number is for Jonah P. He needs a raise. He's putting in the goddamn work at this point. Trent with a bulldog. Trent with an Odin, didn't matter. I'm becoming a fan of this team very quickly.
Are you just trying to get the whole team a raise? Is that the goal?
At this point, Tom, you disagree? It's been unbelievable, and although something grabs one, that is all she wrote.
The G2 manager's going, shut up, shut up.
10-3, double digits found in the first round of the second half. G2 certainly seemed to be in the home stretch. We saw a force buy from PRX on their attack. It didn't work. I'm not sure that we'll see it here, but
if they do it on defense, then I think Prey's almost just GG the game. Like, you're not going to have that extra injection of having the plant, so it's not. And the last time out, it was one player standing and they got a plant. This time out, it wasn't even close. So you're basically just going to go in with Sheriffs or Stingers with no shields or light shields. It's just not worth it. So it is just going to have to be the hard eco. Jing, solo Sheriff. And although, yeah, if they do lose this round, it will be a massive jinx. The way that G2 have been playing, I would be gobsmacked if they lose this round.
Absolutely. They have been so disciplined. The teams that lose these rounds tend to be much more loosey-goosey, taking risks. You can see that on the side of PRX, they're willing to group up and do a little exec play. All the util thrown outside of A at Rubble. All the dashes used, the space taken, and there's no one here. Now they've got to go to the other side of the map, which is wide open. Typically, you'll have your Sentinel on this side when you go for those big gamble plays, at least getting you the information early. PRX will struggle with that, as they don't have one.
Already. They're just set up, watching for the door. Something. He's going to be met by Leaf. It's only a pistol player, so not the end of the world, but we'll garner him an extra orb at least. For the rest, yeah, they've dropped a couple of players. This really isn't bad! Where did that come from? Again, Forsaken. Giving them at least a life. There's time for this. Like, they're going to have to move quickly, and they're desperately low. Valen, safe pair of hands, but not this time! All right, then. Maybe the caster curse does exist, because somehow they managed to win that round.
Unbelievable. 42 HP between them as well. MasterCard Thrifty pulled out of absolutely nowhere. Typically when we see those, there's at least a small bit of investment, but this really came out of the blue. Double digits for G2, sure, but that lead not extended on, and now the economy in a tough spot. Hey, of all the ways to start this half out, this may well end up being one of the best for PRX, surprisingly.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it as something you should attempt.
That's not a foolproof strategy, that's for sure.
It's funny as well, because the time they invested into round number 2 as a force buy, it failed miserably. And the time they didn't, they win with 2 players standing. It's the most PRX thing on the planet. And here goes Jing, continuing that train of thought. He's looking to battle and brawl, maybe get some confidence back. He's definitely had a bit of a rough map so far, but I don't think anybody's doubting that he can turn it around.
And he's not greedy, just taking the one and backing off, holding the position now. Brent and Icy, the last two standing. Looks like PRX have really found themselves a way back into this series. Back into this map, more importantly. Fifth soon to come on the board with this firing squad waiting for them. And it's nice and easy. Just leaving Trent, just a Sheriff. And if he wins this one, PRX may just walk off the stage. 10-5. Halfway there.
It's still a long, long road to go. And I think we know that getting back into the buy rounds is where the expectation changes. But I do think that just boost of confidence. Like winning a round like that gets everybody hyped up, gets the blood pumping. Also just proves, you know, we can take these rounds away from them. We can still get away with the stuff that we've been attempting and that has failed. I think Forsaken a lot of the time puts the world on his back when things are going bad. We saw that in Madrid as well. One of the craziest shotgun plays. No, the craziest shotgun play I've ever seen. Question now is, how far does that go?
Forsaken certainly not afraid. You mentioned about the confidence. It's a big factor. Something certainly has it. Already going up aggressive on A. He's got backup. Prowler coming around, spotting a player close left, and he decides to back off. This is a wise choice. knowing there could be a swing coming out from both directions. Can't see someone like Jing slow it down even after a couple of bad rounds. Well, more than a couple. This Neon, he needs to be taking space, and he's done just that. Now they can start to rotate to the other side of the map. They'll be a little bit late, and Mind Freak seems to be just conceding the control.
Not yet back online. He's put the fragment in, but it's only going to deny them the close corner. I think they're going to have to give this one up. Again, looking to play the retake. Plant. Not going to be denied just yet. They wait patiently for everybody to arrive.
Taking the leaf out of G2's book. PRX on the way in, and up he goes, but Jing not landing the shot. The trade is good nonetheless. He causes the chaos. Trent, though, manages the recovery, and Jonah P's there to help out. Forsaken, now the last man standing, misses the jump up top, or maybe he intended to stay below. He almost caught Trent off guard, but the reactions of this guy, unbelievable. Another triple for Trent, and 11 rounds now on the board. The home stretch well and truly in full swing for G2.
It's not like the other side where G2 can wait for their retakes and just everything falls into place. I don't mind the idea of the sort of the jump up from Jing, even if it's just the surprise factor of it. But again, whether it's Jonah P, whether it's Trent, like just having these positions to just almost maneuver around. That seems to be what's just so impressive about every player on this squad is their positioning. Again though, financially, PRX after the round, they won off pistols. Economically going to be good. That looked close, but no cigar.
Just a hair away, but it's enough. PRX don't claim the early advantage. G2 stacked up and ready to blitz out of this choke point. If they go for it, they could be in trouble. You've got Jing and Mind Freak ready to exact vengeance on them. Instead, the spike is shifting towards the B site. A bit of a split with some going C where they know that there's an AWP. You have to imagine there'll be deep utility used here to push them off the angle. Indeed, it's going to be the Prowler sent through, and it's caught him up close, got the AWP shot out. Now they've claimed the angle on the side of G2, but is the spike going towards B? I mean, Leaf's already taken the space, the door's open, Nightfall goes through. It's a confusing one for PRX to read, and if they had an IGL, he'd be panicking about now. Forsaken, under pressure, manages the one, but they need a little bit more, and it's something in Jing to deliver.
Leaves Valen alone. First goes his way. Now he can back out of there. Has the spike in his hand. They know exactly where he is, and something, well, a little bit too quick to allow him to get away. A 6th round onto the board for PRX. A big one to win as well. It's going to put the economy of their opponents right on the back foot once again. And that is, again, the thing. Just how disruptive this team can be. The rotations of Forsaken, selling the idea that, okay, he's gone down. Jing can now swing off the same position. And then this man at the back of the site, they give him anything, and he's not going to miss those shots. Still, a long way back. But these sort of back and forth rounds, well, at least winning one and then losing it straight back, it's probably the best thing that could have happened for PRX, because it means that financially, again, G2 are in trouble.
Up reposition this time, playing on the A site to allow PRX to push up on C and take that space. Problem is they can't commit to so many players on Mound because they have to go back to clear B. That leaves Jing isolated when the fight comes down. G2 able to take that pick for free. And now well, the world's their oyster. They can take it where they want. Turret still covering their back, but it's about to be out of range. Looks like commitment to the C site, and it certainly is. Straight through his ice. He has Showstopper to use, but not anymore. Mind Freak keeping control over the back. He's lit down by the spams and has to be a bit more passive now. The rest of his team on the rotation. 2 stack up on B and 1 further, but they don't know that the snake in the grass yet again, the Viper down below, is on his way, and he's just wrapping for free. It could be an easy kill. He's gone into the smoke though. A moment of solace for Mind Freak, but he doesn't expect there to be a player there. Forsaken's blindsided, and Mind Freak low on the site will struggle to stop this plant.
He's trying his best.
30 seconds
At least
left.
one comes up for Divine. Now the time is ticking. This brings things back to even. It's whether or not they want to try and use the Viper's pit, but it might make it tougher to plant. Another one for Mind Freak. Leaf tagged desperately low. It has to be Trent. It needs to be him to try and get something done. And what, 15 seconds left. Plenty of players to find, and in fact, it's a man that started it all. Mind Freak with 3.
Reason I have this man's jersey at home, Tom. Phenomenal player, and a big round from him. Dodging the spams at first, his timing on the Shrouded Step was unbelievable. Forsaken was unfortunate to get caught blindsided as he walked back through, but the spams here, absolutely gorgeous. Not just taking down Valen, not just taking down Jonah P. I believe it was there. You see it in the kill feed. Leaf as well. 3 players going down through the wall.
The play cam there is quite funny. It looks like he's celebrating before he got the kill.
He's gonna peek me, watch this.
11-7. PRX are on that road to recovery. Now, the ultimates weren't used by G2, so they still have them going into this round. Viper's Pit, Showstopper, but they built up on the other side as well. A matchup that, if PRX can win, they really are getting to the point where they're back in the game. Immediate teleport. Valen, I was about to say, if he sticks that, that's a bold attempt. Instead, though, it was just used to give them the information. Nightfall used fairly early, but Jonah P's lurk caught by something.
Yeah, who could have guessed Jonah P would be lurking in this game? Seems something certainly hit the nail on the head. Now the steps are heard leaving the B site, although, okay, the knife gets thrown through, so Forsaken knows there's someone outside B. He'll stick in position. C site, 3 players just outside it. They had success, 3 kills in the last round off just spamming the wall and denying the plant. Looks like they're not going for that this time. Instead, it's Jing running around the nade for Forsaken, and Jing steps right into it. He is farming them up. And on 9 HP, Brave to use this ult through a smoke.
Okay.
And Leaf
1v1.
now has a real chance. 1v1 against the op. This round was looking done. It looked like it was already in the bag, and instead, there is going to be a challenge. The op not going to be the best for spamming through that wall. Something has to hope that he'll find an angle. Leaf knows once this ult goes off, he has time to get the plant in. He's going for it. Something's wild, spams, perhaps. No, he's instead going to close the distance, keep the element of surprise up his sleeve, and try to isolate this man. Caught scoping in. It's a big danger, but he's picked the right angle. It's not over yet for PRX. They pushed up to 8.
It's just a back and forth. It feels like they've pulled G2 into the mania that is PRX, with battles and brawls, a 3v1 that Leaf almost manages to turn, but again, a safe pair of hands is something with that operator. Jing, though, just the fact he's playing, again, we've seen this earlier in the tournament, just playing through the fragments. Oh. And that is filthy. Just couldn't quite get it done on the last. G2, after losing 5 of the last 6 rounds, are going to take themselves a pause. I think a necessary one as well, because we've said in the last map, they were able to weather the storm. They were able to play up against PRX's style with them taking aggressive mid-control, them running it down. They were playing it perfectly in those retakes, and in the post plants, they were sublime. PRX have started to deny them getting those plants, and that's where it becomes a little bit more problematic.
Well, you're seeing the first timeout for G2. I haven't had to use any so far. Remember, this was, what, 9-3 at the halftime? An impressive, and the pistol went to G2. So a really impressive
This could have been
recovery.
over like 10 minutes ago.
In fact, with most teams, with most games, it would have been over.
Yeah.
But PRX have started to find themselves a little bit. And with 3 rounds in between them, it is definitely the time for G2 to touch base with the coaching staff. This round, not likely to be the one that they win. They've got pistols. They're very light investing. No heavy shields whatsoever. A few ultimates online. But, again, unless you see Jonah P headshot 3 people, or 2 maybe, you're not likely to see that showstopper pulled into effect, unless there's a big mistake from PRX.
Yeah, same for his Viper's Pit as well. It's like you've got a stinger in case that eventuality comes about, but a lot more is needed. It's so aggressive. Already, immediately taking control towards that C site. It's left something alone. This could actually be the bigger problem for them. He's going to manage to dodge, but they're trying to pressure with a low buy, looking to get as close as they can. He's repositioned, but the shots are missed. He's now somewhat stuck in the mud, and they're waiting for that rotation to come back in. Shots connecting. Icy bound, another one, and he goes for even more. And not even needing that showstopper when he's got the pistol in hand.
Trent's behind as well. He was biding his time on B, and there's no way they expect him to be here at this stage. He's recovered a rifle, and it's the freest kill of his life with Jing down and out. What a way to push up to 12 from G2, a round that seemed like they wouldn't have a chance in. They had nothing but pistols for the most part, and here they are. Just Devi, 1 against 4, a Viper's Pit to fight through. Icy, who's popping off everyone on rifles, bar Jonah P, who doesn't give a damn inside his pit, and a showstopper just for good measure. This is a disastrous outcome. And sure, he takes down one, but that matters little to G2 right now. A 3K for Icy, a MasterCard Thrifty, and with that, 4 chances to take the series with a G2-0.
It's going to be the thorn in their side, a slip up, and one that it's unfortunate. Like, you put your operator on one side, and I thought that was going to be the main problem of the round, but it's mainly just the fact that Icy's able to wrap back in, and then I think he spots, that's it, it's just the shrouded step. He sees just a tiny bit of information and is completely ready for anything Mindfreak is going to do. 12-8. Operator now gone as well. Can't be back on the board for PRX in this round. It's been a huge part of what they have. Jing, he's gone as well.
And the showstopper's active, but Mindfreak's up top. No one was close enough to trade him out. Big swing from Devi as well. They'll double up on it. PRX now with the advantage. They punish the early rubble control. And the response seems to be to take it the other direction. The steps are heard as Valen moves up towards B main. They know that he's on his way here, and something is more than ready to execute him. But Valen starts to run back. Timing for something isn't great because the turret's still there. It's going to catch him and give the information. They know that push has come through, but it does get the rotation to the C site.
But that's the thing. If he doesn't peek that, it will have actually been a perfect stack up for them on the C site. Now G2 can call into question, okay, if he's pushed up, they know it's not B. They know the fake that we sold isn't going to be there. Forsaken under pressure, but he can't afford to give the game away here. And well, with now already they've lost one. This is an awkward fight to take. He's just about going to make it around the corner.
Trent is so smart. He throws the reveal and then just swings it, knowing that they're probably going to go for the peak. Nightfall goes through in the back of that. Forsaken catches Valen, though. A huge kill. But with the Nightfall hitting, Trent takes his moment to go for the flank, moving around through heaven, sees that it's clear. Now you know that the defender spawn is not where they're coming from. It refocuses Leaf. He's now looking towards the water, where he's already heard Mindfreak, TP across, waiting for the steps, and he's turned at the wrong moment, a free kill. Trent now has to do it all. He's pulled out multi-kills so many times in the past, and the first is his, but he's got to swing in and deny that defuse. Not this time. 12-9, 3 more chances for G2.
Yeah, then, well, again, it's going to be a break back immediately after we see that pistol round victory. You got yourself what was a nice attempt to turn back around. After the early battles, it was looking rough, especially with the information that something was able to get with such a deep position. But even still, once Leaf went down, the position for the retake or the clutch for Trent just wasn't a good one. From the depths of hell again, PRX looked to rise. Economically, though, again, they're still almost fighting off the back of that pistol, and it's given them enough to purchase once more. And no surprise, we're seeing a push-up on A.
Yeah, they've had success taking it. Mindfreak alongside Jing. Forsaken early knife for info on C. And the aggression from something successful, at least in the last round for the information. First fight doesn't go their way. Mound control given over to the side of G2. Orb to be taken. 2 away now from a lockdown, and the push-up on A. The slide in from Jing is gorgeous. Jonah P didn't stand a chance.
It's got to be infuriating. The amount of times he's been picked off by an operator pushing him. And now Jing sliding into position. The B site looks to be the point of contention. Smokes out, paranoia, utility, but there seems to be a point where they might look to just push through this. I didn't expect that. Now Icy has managed to put down 2. It's not the play you expect to see with the Odin. And now Mindfreak's gone as well. The perfect combo. It's left onto the man who started this comeback. Forsaken, 1v4.
Devastating round. Let's see if he can do it. And no, immediately shut down. G2, 13-8 and 13-9. They were the better team here today. And the man on your screens, ice cold with it. This guy is unbelievable. His rays popped off, but you got to commend G2. They look like such a clean machine on the server. This is someone that and anyone in this tournament should be scared to face.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think coming into this group, there was a lot of doubt about who would be making it through, but I think most if not everyone, should have looked at G2 as the favorites. This team has been on an upward trajectory all the way through the year, ever since making it in. For PRX, hey, they woke up towards the end. We started to see the team that we wanted to see throughout this series, but it was just a little bit too late. And those individuals on the other side, the team cohesion, there was everyone needed to sort of fight versus the side of PRX. And yeah, I think if you look at most teams, maybe you can think of, okay, this is their weakness, this is a weak link. For G2 right now, I'm stumped. It's up to their next opponent to try and work it out.
Yeah, someone's going to be losing sleep trying to answer that question, because this team doesn't seem to have a weakness when it comes down to players or approach. They just seem so far ahead. And I got to say, I am impressed by what I saw today and every facet of it. Icy blew me away with some of his performances. Jonah P., that man, he needs to be studied. He needs to be studied. I want to know what he ate, what he did in the morning. What's his routine? I'm copying it once there's no walking involved. And Trent, look, here it is. Here it is with the pistols as well, the 4K that kicked it off. And this set the tone for the map. And I don't think the tone changed. There was a little moment.
I would say there was a decent moment.
PRX picked it up at the end, but
down,
again,
they made it competitive.
Just too far behind. And that was our fear going into the second half.
For sure. No, I think the retakes were incredible. Like, that was
Unreal.
what really
Both
made this team look like they shine. I think on both maps, but this map in particular, it was just ridiculous. Whether it was saving utility for the late round, just having it to combo a player out of position, or even just general cohesion and fundamentals from these players. Like, they are so in sync with each other. Their positioning and where they take fights, like basically optimizing whether there's a risk there or not. It was at times the polar opposite of what we saw from PRX, and as it was said on the desk, this is why they came into this and it looked like they would have a good matchup, because they can deal with the craziness, and that's difficult to do.
If we've seen our fair share of teams struggle with that in the past, for PRX, a team that was previously up on top now finds themselves with a loss to open up champs. We're going to go down to the stage, though, and hear from VALORANT with our good friend, Bella.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the post-match interviews with your host Bella. I'm joined by G2's VALORANT. Congratulations, VALORANT, on your win.
Thank you.
오늘 첫 번째 경기 G2의 발린 선수 만나보겠습니다. 승리 정말 축하드립니다. 이제 유일하게 G2가 어센션 팀에서 챔피언스를 진출하게 됐는데, 그리고 이전에 또 다시 한번 PRX를 오늘 이긴 승리 소감 한번 먼저 들어보겠습니다. The only Ascension team in champs, and yet once again you took down PRX. How is that? How does that win taste?
It feels very good to come out for our first match and come out with the victory. We know it's going to be a long journey, but to start off strong means a lot to us. We put a lot of effort and preparation for this match, so I'm glad that it all paid off, and the boys showed a great game today, so thank you to my team.
이번 챔피언스를 통해서 이제 첫 경기를 정말 좋게 출발하게 돼서 너무 기쁘고요. 이제 팀원들도 그렇고 이제 앞으로 이길 경기들이 많이 남아 있지만 첫 출발이 좋아서 엄청 기쁘다고 하네요. 그리고 G2의 이제 아이스박스가 점점점 단단해진 거를 우리가 오늘 경기에서도 볼 수 있었는데, 좀 IGL로서의 발리는 오늘 아이스박스 팀의 아이스박스를 어떻게 평가하는지 한번 물어보도록 하겠습니다. Your icebox has been getting more solid by each game.
Yeah.
And how would you rate, or what are your thoughts? How confident are you about your team's icebox?
Yeah, so we've had some devastating losses on that map, obviously some almost 13-0s, like really bad results, but it's always been a top map for us in scrims, so we don't shy away from it. We know it's a good map for us, and we just have to look back at the VODs when we lose and iron out some little details, because it always comes down to the tiny things for us.
Right.
And from there, you know, we just took it match by match, and now it feels really confident, so I kind of dare teams to pick it.
이제 원래 아이스박스가 스크림에서는 항상 탑픽이었기 때문에 뭔가 자신감은 항상 있었지만, 이제 안 좋았던 경기들이 몇 번 있어서 오늘 이번 이제 경기를 통해서도 이제 G2의 아이스박스는 준비가 됐고, 다른 팀들도 저 도전장을 내밀었으면 좋겠다고 이야기를 하네요. 그리고 가기 전에 마지막으로 승부 예측 한번 물어보도록 하겠습니다. One last thing before you go, EDG or Foot Esports?
I want EDG.
EDG?
Yeah.
All right. All right, good luck to you for the rest of the tournament. Thank you for the interview.
감사합니다.
And that was G2's VALORANT, and we'll have to see if he's right, because we have EDG versus Foot Esports coming up after the break. Bye-bye.
시작한지 언젠지 하도 힘을 주고 있더니 지금도 뻐근한 내 어깨 내가 지금 뱉고 있는 가사는 대체 뭘 위한 건데 모를 거야 난 평생 내 선생 또 선배는 너를 정내 플레이리스트에 남들과 좀 다른 게 들어왔지 눈에 투면 내 same thing 비슷해 보이는 거 빼고 골라서 선택 It is the mistake For the cash, for the fame 관심 없어 난 내 가사에만 몰입해 계속 work on 믿었어 그럼 따라온다고 자연스레 근데 항상 따라붙는 조바심 내 버릇이 잡아먹는 강박 내 목소리를 팔아 남들 다 하는 얘기 말고 진짜 내 living life 다 그대 눈 감아 뭐 접어 그 전까지 날 붙잡고 있는 것은 다름 아닌 사랑 It's love What is love? I don't know Nobody heard 어느새 내가 여기까지 와서 정말 난목해 한치 앞을 모르겠어 Only up for chance Take a step closer I rest my case 말했잖아 정말 난목해 어느새 내가 여기까지 와서 정말 난목해 한치 앞을 모르겠어 Only up for chance Take a step closer I rest my case 말했잖아 정말 난목해 이게 맥길로긴지 I feel right is block Oh can you see me take your stereotype A lot of time 도대체 얼마던가 내가 버린 수많은 것 생각이 안 나 중요한 것을 놓치고 있는 듯한 기분 말이야 쫓기고 있는 듯한 이 기분 말이야 걱정 마 여기까지 다 왔잖아 미안하지만 I don't give a it's my life 가끔은 be alone 근데 낯설은 맘의 위로 받을 줄도 몰라 혼자 견뎌내고 이겨 나의 방식 가끔씩 안 통하는 상식 돌아보니 고마움을 알기에 I believe in myself 시간이 흐르고 나는 익숙해져 be alone 믿을 건 오직 나뿐인 이게 내 인생 loan 이루기 전에 눈 못 감지 그래 내가 여기까지 왔지
Welcome back to Day 4 Champions Tour. Second match on this beautiful Sunday. It's going to be EDG taking on Foot Esports. Of course, Golden Boy here once again, joined by Achilleos as well as Mimi to break everything down. And I mean, before we jump into it though, I do want to do some quick reflection. G2, excellent job from them. Seth, I hope you're okay, buddy. You're reeling a little bit for a bit, but you got over it.
It's nothing I haven't been through before. And they always, they tell you that nonsense where like you'll never experience that same degree of pain again.
Yeah.
You know what? We've gotten past it, so I'm fine.
Yeah, that's right. You embrace the pain. You become one with the pain. Hey, but you know what though? An excellent matchup from G2. We'll of course see both of those teams later on in the competition. But for now though, let's focus our attention on the task at hand. Now these two teams are no strangers to the global stage and have had some incredible moments, but they've never really been able to get over that hump. 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th, but you know that the talent is there, Mimi.
Top 6 is the limit for both these teams. EDG has been to 6 global events, Foot to 4, and I think they're really paralleled in their story. Both a team that fully represents one country, EDG for China, and on the other side, Foot for Turkey, that have been the best from their respective regions at making deeper runs. But for EDG, after having their breakout year last year, I think this year it's been a bit more disappointment, going home early in that first round at Masters Shanghai in front of their home crowd was a heartbreak for the squad.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, it was a year of elation last year, as you're saying. This year has been a bit of a rockier road. And I'm curious to see how they look because there's additional pressures that are kind of getting stacked on EDG because they have seen success, more relative success from the likes of FPX on the international stage, but they themselves still remain at the top here regionally. But now we saw with that matchup from Trace, the bar continues to get set higher and higher for these Chinese squads and for EDG in particular.
Yeah, no, of course. It goes without saying that you have a team in this situation that they found themselves with a ton of success, and it's only natural that when you're top of the mountain for such a long time, things are going to start to fall apart a little bit. This is where we start to see the resiliency we've seen from teams like G2. Let's see that from teams like EDG.
And EDG, I mean, they did more than that. They made changes coming into this event for the first time in forever. EDG has always been the same core, but after their first game in Stage 2, they benched their IGL Howdong He's now filling into somewhat of an assistant coach role, still helping out with this team. They also had coaching changes. After is gone, Muggle is up now as their head coach, and a new player, Simon, has been added to the mix. And I think from watching their games, really reinvigorated EDG. They're back to dominating in China, and while they're still playing a similar style, they're showing a lot of new comps and ideas, at least regionally, and Simon has been a big part of that.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that time and time again for a multitude of different rosters, and how long that stretch, how long that reinvigoration can last is a different question, but I mean,
True.
It's very much the likes of, something joining onto the side of PRX
Sure.
and then being able to take over Pacific last year. Simon comes in, EDG maintaining their spot at the top over in China. How does this look, though, on that global stage is the big question.
I think he looks solid regionally. He's playing, he has a really wide initiator pool, and he does fill in pretty much one for one for Haodong's roles. But what he's not doing is IGLing. Nobody who has been on this team for ages, since basically the dawn of EDG, is now picking up that mantle, which I feel like is a little surprising because he was so often known as a player who was making some of the more crazy, wild plays, running around on Sky for this team. But he's really locked in, and I think evolved as a player to now take on that mantle from Haodong of the in-game leadership.
That's what you need to do when you want to compete at this level. The best of the world are here in Seoul, South Korea, so you need to take it to that next step. But let's go ahead and hear what Simon says as we have Mika Fab standing by with him.
Hi, Simon. Hello. Can we pull you for a quick question? Now, this is not only your first, hi, Kaka. This is not only your first Champions, but this is your first global event ever. So I'm wondering what's going through your head right now. How did you prepare for this day? We have Luna here to help with some translation.
那这不仅仅是你第一次的冠军赛，这更加是你的第一次世界赛嘛？那你现在脑海当中在想着些什么呢？以及是怎么准备今天的比赛的呢？
在想什么？就是有点紧张，然后就想着努力拿下吧。
A little bit nervous, and we'll try our best to win today's matchup.
Well, I'm sure you guys are going to do great. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, not what I was expecting. A little bit nervous, but you know what? I mean, maybe a little nerves might not be the worst thing in the world to have, right? Trying to spin that.
I think it's really expected, and I think that, frankly, it's better to just be honest about it rather than maybe trying to lie to yourself and say, like, no, everything's going well, I'm going to do fine, the team's going to do great, whatever. Sometimes just accepting that you have that nervousness is going to, just help you be able to overcome it. The team knows what you're dealing with. They've been there in that position before, so he's got a good support group around him.
Should be leaning on them.
And I also don't think he's alone in those feelings. Nobody in an interview was talking about the fact that he, having to pick up the IGL mantle, was feeling anxious himself about it, was honestly feeling overwhelmed by the new responsibilities, the new role at times. But I still think that the team has looked good. They looked comfortable when they were playing in their own region. They played a similar style, but the calling was solid. And I think that Simon, while he wasn't a superstar, this isn't a player that we're going to expect to go out there and light the world on fire. He was really solid. And he's in a good team of very experienced players on this international scene. Remember, 6 times they've been to global events before who can make him feel comfortable on this stage.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, when you're nervous or you're not sure how to feel in those moments, you lean on the rest of your teammates there. And who better to lean on than a guy who loves living in that spotlight? It's Kong. And this is a guy who we have always known to step up in those clutch moments. He's had many incredible moments on the global stage, but this is certainly going to be a tough challenge for Kong. And for the rest of EDG, as we had alluded before, Seth, because they are kind of figuring it out right now. And Kong, well, he's still Kong, so.
he is still Kong, but we haven't gotten those highs from him this year compared to what we've been used to seeing in the past. You see how he's been comparing regionally against, up against CNET. The main thing that I want to see is just operators in both of these guys' hands.
I think that's the big thing about the matchup. Both these guys are some of the players who like upping the most in their respective regions. For both these teams on their defensive side, getting that star player set up. They'll both call a lot of the rotations around leaving their offer alone on the line, and both of them definitely have that experience taking over games. Kong before on the international stage, and CNED, one of the 4 players who has won a Champions before. He's been a world champ, so big pressure for both these guys, I think, to show their best here at Champs 24.
Hey, well, pressure makes diamonds, right? So we'll see what ends up happening with this. But ahead of Champs, we sat down with Kong to talk about his return to the global stage, who maybe hoists a trophy over his head. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hey guys, we have a very special guest joining me today for a quick interview. We have Kang Kang of EDG and we have Luna to help with some translation. So nice to see you guys. Now, Kang Kang, you've been at every global event since Champions 2022. How different is it being here at Champions 2024 from the first time that you stepped onto that global stage?
会有一些感觉吧，就以前可能会觉得一切都是很未知的，然后现在可能就是只需要准备好我们自己该做的那些东西，然后去尽力的去面对下一场比赛就行了。
I think there's there's a difference because previously we just felt that everything is unknown, but now you just have to prepare your own thing just to try your best.
Yeah, well, we know, of course, that we're going to expect the very best from EDG. But now the team looks a little bit different. You have Simon now in the roster. You have Muggle now as the head coach. And Haodong is now assistant coach. So with your top seed finish in VCT China, how would you say they impacted preparations going into this event and on that global stage?
我觉得就更专项一点，然后现在更做东西更基础，然后只是构建一下团队的道具跟协同吧，然后其他就可能风格有一些转变，然后跟之前训练的东西跟针对的东西不太一样了。
I think we have the things we have changed particularly. It's more about our basic, more about our synergy, our Kate, and our thing. The difference is like the style because we have changed a little bit. So I feel like the things we're changing is in different style right now.
Well, we know that you and EDG, you have a massive fan base. We saw that in Master Shanghai. Why do you think the fans connect to you so much, Kang Kang?
我觉得可能更多的是活力吧。我觉得我们一直以来就备受关注的一点就是我们充满活力，对，所以说怎么说呢？其实。然后再加上可能是舞台上或者赛场上我们的发挥，然后跟表现吧。
I think the first thing is about our energetic. I think this is one of the most important reason, and also plus on our performance on the stage or in the server. I think that's why.
I think it's also like your epic poses, right? You who can forget that. We're eager to see more of it on that stage. So thank you so much for this interview and best of luck.
EDG burst onto the scene and really made a name for themselves right out of the gate. Kang Kang obviously being at the tip of the spear when it comes to that. But, I think, that energy, that excitement, that's what makes this EDG team so excited. And
the classic pose was at Champs, wasn't it?
Love it, yeah.
I think it might have been Tokyo.
Was it?
No, I think it was LA.
I thought it was LA too.
I'm sure it was Champs LA.
I mean, he had so many different moments.
He's an icon.
It's really easy to kind of get confused and conflate them all together. Either way, for me, after last year, Kang Kang was that guy. He was the one I feel like everybody should have been looking at.
Yeah, for sure. But then on the other side, his counterpart there is going to be CNET and the rest of this foot lineup here. And this is a squad that, again, another team similar to EDG who have not been able to break past that glass ceiling, and they're right there to be able to do so.
But the last event was their breakout. They finally beat one of their demons in Fnatic and made it into the top 6 at Masters Shanghai. It was their best appearance ever at a global event. And these guys have come back in, honestly, looking solid. They did end up losing to Fnatic again and went down in the EMEA playoffs, but I think they stuck to their guns. They're still a team with a lot of somewhat unique but really well executed ideas. When I think of them, I don't think of crazy util set plays and combinations, but I just think of really solid teamwork, players swinging together, everyone in the right place, and just some fantastic Turkish aim from players like CNET and Yetije.
Yeah, you love to see it. Oh, well, look at that. Lost that pen. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear from a world champ, shall we? We got CNET standing by with Mika Fabs.
Hi, CNET. Good to have you back. The team is back for another Champions, and I feel like you guys are the team that everybody is sort of healthily wary of. So what do you think this roster, Foot, can bring to the table that you think will surprise everybody on that stage this year?
I mean, we are come to here to, I think, as underdog, so we can surprise everyone, I hope, and become champion.
Well, eager to see it. Good luck out there.
both these teams, I think, are coming in with a bit of an underdog mentality, right? They've both had their breakouts before on the international stage, but both these squads, I think, approaching their opponent with respect, but with real potential to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, Kong, he's always been that guy getting out of his chair, getting in your face. We've been seeing that more and more from CNETs, and now with these two clashing for the very first time, I'm curious to see who's going to be left standing at the end of this all and who's going to be sitting in their chairs.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, another player, though, that I'm really excited to check out is Yetsuje, who also, another one, who came into the global stage and really shocked us all with his performance. And I think it's safe to say, like, this is a guy that you got to be afraid of when you face off against him in that server.
He's such an important player for this team. He's almost always going to be locking in this cypher. And I think they have so many of their defensive ideas built around him about disguising the strong side of setting him up in a lot of positions where he's left alone on the site and has to do a ton, but his mechanics and his individual form is so good that he's almost always thriving in those situations. And on top of that, you just see the energy he exudes when he is playing well on stage. Him yelling, it'll echo through any arena.
Yeah, this guy is loud, and from the outset, just joining in the offseason, you could see that the impact was there already. Foot, you could see that this was going to be a very different team, that they were going to be able to reach new heights, and so far they've been able to do that, but how high can they go? We're about to find out.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got two teams here, never faced off against one another before, and I'm expecting a damn good match. So let's go ahead and send it over to the stage and bring out Foot and EDG.
Footy Sports. Edward Gaming.
My favorite thing about Valorant at the global level is you get to see matches that you never thought you'd be able to see. You're getting a all-Turkish team going up against an all-Chinese team, a truly international battle, and it is going to be fantastic.
Both these teams are the icons of their region for a reason, looking to break out here at VALORANT Champions. As we look at the map veto, we're starting things off with, I think, a pretty good one for Foot. They've played a lot of their Lotus in EMEA. It seems like almost every EMEA team favoring that map quite a lot.
They quite like themselves some Lotus out there.
I think what is interesting, though, is that they don't play the standard Fnatic comp. They've been locking in instead a look with the Jet and the Breach. Well, they have shifted away from like only playing KO. CNET still only plays Jet and Raze for this team. They haven't picked up any of the new stuff with Neon, any of the Yoru ideas. They're very much a team that is committed to their read.
Yeah, whereas on the other side, we have actually seen, kind of for some of the first times, Kong flexing over to some different roles, picking up some different things such as that Gecko and whatnot. So curious to see if there's going to be any big changes in the overarching compositions from EDG, where they want to just really force Kong back onto those hard-hitting duelists where he can have that monstrous carry potential, or if it is still going to be a bit more flexibility coming out of this superstar.
And even on those carry roles, he's buying new ones. This map, we're likely to see him lock in the Neon, something that we did not really see until stage 2 of VCT CN. They also play a unique comp. They have a Clove in the mix and an Omen as well, playing a double controller with no Viper, maybe taking somewhat of a leaf out of their CN brethren FPX's book, who favors a lot of those kind of like Omen, Clove, double smoker ideas.
Mr. Fallen out there bobbing his head quite a bit. I got to know what the deal with the octopus is, but there you go. The lock-in comes through here. You're getting Clove. You're getting Kong on that Neon. I'm excited to see him break some ankles out here potentially, but what we should be expecting with this compositions?
I mean, the big thing that I'm looking at is going to be Kong and that new player of Simon. That Breach is there to help set up the Neon on these pushes alongside the relay bolt coming through. Get those dazes out, get those slides going, and get that pinpoint accuracy on display.
On EDG's attack, watch how they'll slowly kind of clear through space. When they go towards A, they're going to smoke close, take that space early with their stunts, and then kind of set it up into a 2-stage fight with the amount of smokes they have. Normally, when you're only playing Omen, you don't have that potential. This Clove adds an extra little bit, and you're combining that with the Neon too. There's a lot of cool ideas to show here, and Foot has never played against a comp like this.
Oh, I'm excited. All right, let's go ahead and jump into map 1. shall we? And send it over to your casters, who, by the way, are taking a break from getting rinsed on the Pacific servers. It's Brendan's
I've never
show.
played on the Pacific servers. I've never been rinsed in my life on the Pacific servers.
Yeah, you
I'm taking
have.
over. No, that's a lie, actually. Singapore servers after 6 p.m. demon pie. don't play on those servers. I'm telling you now. We got FUT versus EDG here for our opening matchup, really, between these two teams. The first signs of life that we're going to see at them in champs so far. And there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss at the desk. It's already been bringing out, but we are jumping straight into the pistol round. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to break down all sorts of narratives circulating around these teams. But the big one is that EDG are under a lot of pressure. They need to have a good, strong opening.
They absolutely do. Those Chinese fans can be brutal, and EDG have seen so many other squads from China have success recently. They want a taste of that themselves again. FUT was stacking up over towards C at the start of this pistol round, and it looks like they're playing A towards a bit of a retake setup. Both teams playing a breach, seeing Cracks hold the fault line.
Just in cases here, Simon's going to go for that plant. Full stick, nothing to push that away as well. Plant against the backside of the wall, holding the flash as well for backside fight with Kang already in that spot and position.
EDG love to get aggressive on these Lotus post plants.
Let's see if they've got anything clear. And the one-way fault line. And the paranoia, right clicks, a bit of panic settling in. Chichu trying to cover it just over the shoulder as well. Kang still alive. It's off to the side here, making sure that he can hold this one back, but already getting overwhelmed and swarmed by the FUT players with that front sight control. They've taken out almost everybody. Smoggy, last one to be alive here, and Crack sticking at the fuse. No way! That's a lead by Smoggy, and what an opener that this EDG team needed.
Great play there towards the end. He got enough chip damage on the first try of going at things. Both of those players super weak. It made the frenzy very useful in that spot. Nice Red Bull clutch that Smoggy pulls out early on. Like he said, very needed. Other than that, their post-plant aggression didn't really work. It looked like FUT's coordination on the retake was working as well. EDG needed someone to come up huge.
Smoggy was the man for the job.
I'll tell you in general, FUT love contacting around places. It's not a high utility composition that they're running here. You don't have the raise, you don't have the fade, you just got a breach.
Yeah.
And they normally save that utility for like big retakes or big executes, depending on what side they're on. So there's going to be a lot of raw gunfights happening. And when you have that kind of clash between teams like this, form is crazy important. Whether the EDG and FUT players are feeling it today and can access their full potential. And in terms of the peaks that we've seen, players in this server have just put on absolute God mode tournaments occasionally.
See if those individuals are firing off. EDG are making this one. It's quite cautious at the beginning into this eco round. Of course, they don't want to give away any lives unnecessarily. Cnade gets at least 2 chances there to potentially rip off some heads, but he's back at the site here and with only the sheriff in hand. Shouldn't be too much danger. Yeah, he's cleaned up, so EDG going for that plan at this point here. There's a bit of time as well. I mean, we've already kind of briefly mentioned how unorthodox these compositions are. These teams in FUT and EDG, they have been playing it in their regions. It's not like we've seen this for the first time.
No, but we haven't seen them clash against each other.
Yeah.
EDG's comp, in my opinion, is really attack-sided, crazy attack-sided. And then when EDG go onto defense, they try to save up, get an operator into Kang's hand, and they're like, would you mind winning us a few rounds with the op? Because the actual compositional setups are not that great on the defense. So I'm expecting EDG here to run up the scoreline at least to a comfortable level for them. And if they don't, they might be in a bit of trouble.
J just going to be going down to the spike here, so another one followed up by EDG, putting that second round on the board.
I also think it's really remarkable that, I mean, maybe it's not remarkable because they've got G2 and PRX in their group, but the community had both of these teams as like 25%ers, 3rd and 4th in the group. Only 25% of people thought that they were going to exit the group, basically,
right, for
both of these teams. I think this group could be rife for upsets. PRX is waiting. Whoever loses this, I don't think PRX has an enormous edge over either of these two teams, but neither of them are going to want to be in that position.
Yeah, looking to grab a win nice and early in their group here. Bonus round for EDG. Definitely a lot of danger towards it. Big stack and group up by the FUT players. A fault line and a paranoia. Give some access to that A-Robble control. Might be looking to cemented. But already you're seeing a fast pivot, and EDG just trying to play off of that. A lot of util being used. YedaJ barely alive, but a stun still applying, and he's able to trade out these kills. Kill trip played off of this guy is electric right now. YedaJ, anchoring player, stalwart defender. EDG now going to be licking their wounds, I think, looking for options and ways back into this round.
Already I can tell that Foot have been watching the VODs. That aftershock comes out from Simon every time, and Yedaji made sure his trips did not get broken by it. That was massive.
Now Foot just hold, waiting for it. Signs of life contact, the head's just peeking up and over. Ripped clean off.
Such a clean round, and so important for Foot to showcase early on in this defense half that they can hold on to a site when there's only one player and, you know, a flood coming through. It was just Yedaje there. Ada Captain comes to try to reinforce. To be honest, Kangkang should probably be favored in that kind of situation, but if Yedaje is hitting, I guess the stun is cosmetic. But yeah, pay attention to where these trips are, because Simon's aftershock is supposed to break those trips. And Yedaje is putting them down in spots that'll avoid that.
And now Robinson into the skirmish, both of these teams, but nobody considering that Chichu could have already got past that line with the TP, with CNED removed. Rubble control going to be made that much more easier here for EDG.
I think it's going to be a mistake for Foot to opt into these rubble fights. EDG's composition is much better in those spots.
Yeah. Like we were already talking about, I mean, the utility that Foot have to work with, it's pretty low. In terms of if you're trying to go, you know, pound for pound against this composition that EDG have, you know, the double initiator, the duelist. Neon stuns are just brutal for trying to find that one early. And a contact reclear is called here by Foot. Had a captain just hold into one line. Yedaje.
He's got a good idea.
Very good idea. Just sees the jiggle as well, but already gives it up, doesn't he? Spoiler. And already stands up, gliding forwards. Kangkang can't follow up. Out from mounds and ducking, weaving, dodging Yedaje only with the two before the trade comes through. Still, two left to stand here for Foot, and that does give them chances and opportunities, but they want to make their way back over towards A now. EDG. Chichu didn't give up that position earlier, so just holding on to that A control for most of the round gives them that option.
It's a nice call. Coming back over to Chichu, who's inserted there. Mr. Fallen might have an opportunity. Shut down.
Yeah, crosshair placement just wasn't quite there, already adjusting.
And that should secure the round up. We'll have to be keeping an eye on these kind of mid-round calls that are going on for EDG. I feel like a lot of the time things are extremely hectic in the EDG camp, especially since they've decided to bench Haodong, put him into the sixth man assistant coach kind of vibe, and bring nobody in to make a lot of the calls for them.
PRX is trying to make a go at this. I don't really understand the logic behind it.
Probably needs his weapon.
Yeah, he really does. He's got no money to buy another one. The rest of his team does, so he's going to get out of there. Not going to get punished for the hubris of trying to make that attempt. But you're right, you know, EDG, there's been even comments from themselves. You know, I was talking about Yinsu ahead of this match as well, just trying to get that extra information heading into it about EDG. But, you know, even Kangkang was talking about how they get chaotic in the mid-round sometimes. They lose track of, you know, what decisions they should be making.
Frankly,
gets a little bit messy.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever when you put a player who's known for his unorthodox plays and strange read on the game and feast or famine play style, and you put him into an IGL position. But it feels like Edward Gaming are just trying to figure out what their mentality is, what their ethos is, their style of play. All right. CNED's going to pick up an operator. Go to look for an early pick out here towards C. Got to imagine there's util to push it back.
Yeah, I mean, they have boatloads of it, but okay. Unscoped as well. That is so damn dangerous, near-sighted just by the Prowler. Was not broken up by Yedaje. It gives it full sight over towards the C mound angle. Door's going to be opened here, not even contested, at least with that Nightfall. Scatters its way across. There's no follow-up, though, with the wall in their face and a haunt. And a paranoia. Plenty more where that came from. EDG Ghana and gain that access into the C side, but the question is, are they going to come out unscathed? Need to get this plant down. Plenty of shots and opportunities handed to CNED, but he's not quite grasping any of them. Damage done to Smoggy. Not quite the kill he was looking for, though. Still has the Blade Storm, so the retake potential is there.
That was a hit.
He's definitely making a decent go of it. Teams grouped up now. 5 versus 5 onto the retake. Backside control. Aim to be held. Kangkang. It's an off angle.
just down onto the ramp as well, but he needs to land it. Shot down with the rest of his team. It's Led just firing through and follows through with the kills. Beautiful work by EDG.
Very nicely done there. EDG, when I was watching them in China on this map, they loved fighting aggressively in the post plant for waterfall control. This time, they planted, but they all stayed on site. They didn't push for an extra piece of map control, but they also didn't back off over to mound, which means it's massively important that you stand your ground, hold crossfires with each other, and hit these important shots. That's a really crucial one to take down CNED, who had knives online. This is putting EDG well ahead now.
Right there.
Yeah, ults are starting to get generated already. See the rolling thunder. Simon holding on to it. And Captain's the only one to hold back this A approach. It's a weaker buy by Foot.
Yeah, the attack side operator is now coming out as well. Kangkang picking that up. They tend to play a lot slower when Kangkang is AWPing.
Foot just trying to abuse the fact that there's no Sentinel on the side of EDG, but Smoggy will happily fulfill that role. Even just with the raw aim and gunfire. I mean, listen, there's always danger. The Sheriffs are in the hands of these Foot players. They're demons with it, but it's all cleaned up. Safe pair of hands of Smoggy.
It's pretty nice for the next round. You don't have Breach Ult, Clovolt online. Smoggy can go really deep off the back of it.
The last two players as well. Caught off into the corner.
What?
Whoa, Cracks! He's given it the lifeline and a chance, an opportunity that it's just opened Pride. Wide open, 5 health though to his name. It's a 1v1, isolated down in the blink of an eye. Expecting already the cross-up from Smoggy, the pre-fire, no. But my God, did it get dangerous.
There's just a taster of what this match might end up devolving into.
Listen, man, I said it could get dangerous and they got the Sheriffs in their hands.
It's absolutely bonkers what these players are able to do with light weaponry. I mean, the first shot is labored, but onto nobody and onto Simon.
God
and
almighty.
it's so clean. If Ada Captain hadn't let face first into the aftershock there, they actually could have had a 2v1. Maybe secured the round.
All smiles on the face of Kangkang though. He's taking it in his stride. No worries, guys.
Foot are going to take attack time out here. This side is going to be very difficult for them. I really do believe that EDG's composition is massively attack-sided. And when they have ults online like Cloval, Breach Ult, it's just going to be so difficult to hold them back. I think Foot should be aiming to put a little bit of pressure early and then fight a kind of rolling retreat as they back up and then play retake onto the sites with their own Breach Ult. It's really important, though, that you contest EDG early on because you want to drain them out of utility. You want to make them use the Breach Ult. You don't want to give away that you're just playing full retake setups. Otherwise, they're just going to walk in and then they have all the ults for post-plant.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, we can see that CNED is picking up the operator. I'd like to see CNED try and take an aggressive angle. You know, maybe over towards C, maybe even fighting from the kind of A site kind of area, but something that forces out that Breach Ult so that then his team can play retake. It's just so important that he at least creates pressure and then gets out alive.
And that's the difficulty, I think, for Foot as well. Their composition is... It's hard to walk that tightrope of not over-investing into some of these fights. Seen it again. Operator already being just accosted off onto the corner. Stun already connecting. Seen it just trying to get the hell out of there. Vienna He does cover it. Like you were mentioning, Josh, as well, that rolling retreat, they're just backing away. Now the rolling thunder of itself. Cracks. He lets it loose, lets it rip now. Everybody pushed up back into the corner, but cosmetic stuns is the nature of this game sometimes. Smoggy not dead yet. Back into the fight, but falling from the side, instantly traded once more. The pause, scattering, running away. EDG, they want to try and make their mark. Moves over towards the A side. CNED, he's fast onto it, but players up into his face as well. Up and down the ropes, they're making this one dangerous and awkward. CNED's lucky to be alive.
Spike planted.
Bit of calm for once in the middle of the round. Foot sure to play this one together. Holding just in case. Flank possibilities, but a contact peak, doubled up. Not quite ready for it. Seen it again, missing the shot. This is many opportunities now that he has missed. 2v3, EDG smoking their face. Chichu could cross this one up as well. And for Foot, the pressure's on them to try and push past this one without a captain low. Horns not seeing too much. Jumping peak, swing is there. Yedache finally, but Chichu contains. 1v1 and a tap.
Issue has forced Chichudo ice cold, backs away, knowing Yedaje is not playing towards this one, and there's a 1 round out. Beautiful work once more, 4-piece to finish and wrap it up.
Immaculately played clutch there by Jishu. He really had all of the info, knew exactly that Yedaje was just going to be tapping on that first one. There were so many missed opportunities there, though, from both teams. I'm talking about the form of the players and seeing which team's sharp. There were so many spots in that where there was missed opportunities. CNED probably should have died way earlier on if we're going to look at who had more chances to kill each other. But EDG continue this spiral up and onwards. Can't be stopped.
No. It's relentless. Nothing to break the horns either, so again, peace of mind granted to EDG. They're giving up that front section of A.
Once more, it looks like a bait and switch setup where CNED's designed to take contact, dash back out, and then play in at a captain and Yedaje. Very similar to what he did on B. But this time, Kangkang's not even in the right area of the map to take that carrot on a stick. Poison carrot on a stick, I suppose it would be at that point.
Smoggy's task with just holding down the flank here. Following and cracks, not too much in terms of the weaponry that they're holding on to. Trip broken. Prowler out too, just trying to bait out the potential of that trap play. Gliding and sliding, Kang. Listen, he's not going to take no for an answer. He wants this sight and he wants it now.
Brilliant way of using the Neon movement there against the eco round. It's so difficult to hit Sheriff shots when the Neon's running at your face.
Oh yeah.
And then wiggling around on the floor.
Smoggy just catching that contact on the players as well. It's a little bit disjointed here from the foot attempt. It's not going to be able to get this one over the line here. For now, EDG are in full control, 7-1, and now is a great time to just bring up, talking about the pressure that they had. I think coming off the back of that Shanghai performance, obviously the expectation is going to be much heavier, I think, when it's in their home region playing that tournament a few weeks back.
But they bombed.
They did bomb out.
I mean, yeah, they didn't even have one of their, ooh, they look good, but then they don't make it.
Yeah, it was completely flat.
It was extremely flat, and the Chinese fans wanted more, demanded more, and made their voices very heard. And so you got to expect that was one of the reasons why EDG ended up making changes. CNED tries to get value again.
And this time will succeed. Pluck Smoggy out of the picture nice and easy.
And a wallbang through onto Simon there as well. Yeah. Look at the health, 15.
Unfortunate not to get a collat. But that is exactly what Foot were looking for, honestly. The first kills have not really been going their way. Prowler again in the face with the op shot fired off. They now know exactly where CNED is. Kang support up, chewed up. At least by the trap. Farlin in a bit of danger. The paranoia is good though with that connection after shock. It's going to be dodged. He needs some help from the rest of his team, and the overdrive is just swatted away. Kang does not stand a chance, but Simon quick on the next approach. We'll trade it, slowing it down. Patience has to be played now because it's still a 2 versus 4 for EDG. Risks might need to be taken. Any chance of them winning this? Pre-fires onto the corner, 2 players into the pit, just holding it. Chichu trying to take that. What is that? Adjustment flick to the side. Yedaje barely puts him to rest. Simon, 15 health left, tagged up by the cam. Not long for this world, and so Foot finally going to be able to get another one on the board up to that second round.
And that's a massively important one for Foot. They're very, very good on Lotus, so don't get too worried about them just yet. But if they end up going down 8-1 and their economy's broken, it doesn't matter how attack-sided EDG's comp is, at that point, you've set yourself up for a very, very rough ending to Lotus. So that's important, stabilizes the economy, gets them into a decent spot, and they know that CNED can find those opportunities with the op. It's just about putting him in the right place, trying to figure out where EDG might go next. And EDG are headed towards A on that classic rubble kind of fight again.
This point pretty much being handed over for free. CNED again. He's going to make another go of things, isn't he? It's where he found success last time, just peeking through B main.
May catch nobody.
Jump spot. Does he hear this? Pre-aims? Nobody though. Already crossed up onto the spot, barely a shoulder, but this time CNED is starting to hit. On fire with it.
That's so sharp. At some point, you got to imagine Kangkang is going to feel like he wants to go for the ego battle. It might be too late in this half, but certainly on defense.
Back
force a rubble with the TP here. There's a lot of players though. Does he get that confirmation, Mr. Farland? Not liking what he saw. Smoggy on the meanwhile. He's making sure to take this one slow and steady. Has got them a lot of control up towards C. Door opens up. EDG making the call here for the mid-round pivot. 40 seconds left, stunned up. Mr. Farland has to let loose with it, but with Smoggy spotted, he might have just given the game away with only 36 seconds left. Out of captain. He's going to reinforce this site up. Still has a snakebite in his back pocket. Smokes are up as well. Orb up to respond. Fault line though. There's no molly at the feet, so EDG are going to be able to get into this one essentially for free. It's all about whether or not you can get this plant down still. Simon, not just to tap a full stick, doesn't want to try and bait out any of that util, and there's nothing used as a response. No spam on the side of Foot.
No spam, I think, because they're worried about EDG pushing Waterfall. Like I said, they do that all the time in China.
Smokes placed, propped up. Kang. This one going to be dissipating though, does need to be worried about it. Retaking with the op, never quite ideal. Kang. First casualty, Chicho's there, right through the wall. Yedaje is frying, farming Cloudburst to try and get them into the site, and the last player left is Simon, overwhelmed. Too many targets to really overcome.
And suddenly, a map where EDG were fully in control, and now Foot making a decent little comeback. Those 2 rounds, they might not look like much, but with how EDG's composition is so reliant on getting their economy flourishing and getting an op into Kang's hand on the defense side, any kind of damage done here is going to add up. These last 2 rounds, crucially important. They make all the difference between a 7-5 half or a 9-3. And that's either a close half or a blowout.
Yeah.
Yedaje's been feasting. He's got 12 kills currently. Anytime they've hit the C site, he's been good for it. Hitting shots while stunned on Kang to open up the map twice, and still then continuing to find success elsewhere.
He's doing it all right now. As you mentioned, the anchoring's good when he's handed the chance to do so, but it's really the trading, I think, that's been most impressive. He's always following up off of, Cena taking that first point of contact, maybe dashing away with the op, which you saw in that prior round. Very consistent.
I'm interested how Foot are going to disrupt the ults that are about to come online here. Quick peek for those of you at home. Nobody and Simon 1 away from Nightfall and Rolling Thunder, respectively. So they're probably, EDG, going to be looking to try to play for one of these ult ops, right? So how do you deny them? Foot can't really win a rubble fight, so that's probably where EDG are going. And you can see here that Foot making the read to stack over towards A, because they expect, I would believe, EDG to be looking for this ult orb over here.
It'll be a hard task trying to win it.
Enormous hard read.
Yeah, skirmish will be occurring. The question is who will be the winner. Now, last time Chichu TP'd back Rubble and it did put the punish onto CNED. We'll see if that happens again, or Foot has something to counteract it. Paranoid looks like it's pre-aim just for the middle uncenter piece of the choke point. Fault line slows them down. TP through the back again, up and around with the updraft. CNED barely alive here, still blinded up. Inside the Cloudburst, wants to play inside of it. Chichu running and gunning. Reign Supreme wins out the day. Cracks, you are hard committed into this spot, son, and there is really no escape. Another captain will help him out. Shot from the side and a follow-up again. He can't be denied. Foot just absolutely smashed them into dust.
Can we have a look at the stage? Did Cena just jump into Krax's chair for a moment there?
What happened there?
Possess his body, take him over. What are those 2 up shots? Coming out from a player that I've only ever seen with a rifle in hand. That's nasty. Krax was completely stuck. The door had not been pre-fired, so he was trying to use a classic to get through it. He's like, please, let me escape, get me through to B. And he decided to turn, stand, and fight. But now EDG have those ults online. Yep. Now in the final round of the half, they've got massive tools to work with.
We're seeing again the same fight taking Farland. Oh my goodness, revealed up by the Horde as well. He needs to get the hell out of their door in his face. TP through into the smoke and the bullets just won't connect into the end. EDG not to be denied that space, and they have a lot of ults to make usage of. Nightfall, primed and ready, finally let loose. Fallen drops the smoke. CNED anti-synergy almost, but the Blade Storm, now the stuns connecting up. This is chaos and anarchy occurring. Updraft will not save you. Kang hunting them all down. Finally put a stop to all of it. Rolling Thunder does not deny the plan. Might be able to get at least put back into it. Nobody tucked to the corner, tight and close, and they still can't remove him with the upgrade occurred finally. A trade online. Yedaje though, no effect will reveal everybody's position into the 3v2, and with the fight isolated now to 2v2.
in through tree. Smoggy out wide, and what an adjustment it is. Couldn't quite catch that final kill. It looks like he just whipped that rifle all the way around for the 8-4 finish.
Didn't even need his ultimate to close that one out. And it would have been a checkmate situation towards the end, I think. So it's a good half from EDG, a very good half. 8-4 on Foot's map pick, but their comp is attack-sided. Who knows where this is going?
Oh, come on. Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Edward is definitely gaming at this point. I mean, 8-4, like we said, you've got to come out the gates swinging at this event just because of all the expectations that were laid onto the shoulders of all of these young players. But they are turning up to the challenge here against Foot. Still, there's all these, question marks, I think, when you see two compositions clash on a map where, normally the meta is set in stone. And these are two different, very, I guess, identities that these teams are trying to go for on this map.
Absolutely, and EDG's composition, it does struggle on the defense because they can't occupy 3 sites at once. They don't have the Sentinel, they don't have the Viper. Now, in China, they left the C site very, very weak. I think now you're seeing them leave the A site weak on the pistol to avoid that anti-stratting that Foot would have done. Do Foot care? Are Foot going for the C site? No, not at all.
That's all 5 players grouped up.
But I think EDG are going to end up on attack here.
Flipping the map. Yet a J. This guy is about to be receiving either a world of hurt, or might just win the round for them single-handedly. He's the one who's got to try and lock this one down already. Early fight taken, and almost lost out. Kang drops him down to at least 11. A slight tuck into the corner. No way.
He dodges
the bullets. This guy is a fox in the pen, but he is going to be spotted and finally rooted out. So there's our first kill advantage. EDG, maybe something to work with. Door again, opened wide. Molly's a little bit delayed and laid out here. EDG are winning this one with a massive player advantage. Mr. Fallen and CNED to do the most here, leaving it just down to Fallen. And now overwhelmed at the back. Knives are out and swinging. We are getting scrappy.
That's a major pistol round for EDG to be able to get. They played it really nicely, but there were so many spots there where a Foot player could have had impact. Yedajay tucked into the corner, couldn't do anything. Great shutdown from Kang. And then also Adacaptain, another spot where Kang probably should have died. He's vulnerable, swinging through, but Adacaptain can't get his weapon out in time. Foot letting that one slip a little, a fumble that they can't afford with only 4 rounds in the bag. EDG, this is perfect for them. Again, their defense strategy revolves around getting an op into Kang's hands. Winning the pistol, you're loving that.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to get your economy flourishing.
We'll make a go of things here. Slow spread default into the Rico. Maybe just aiming to hopefully farm up some orbs. That's the trouble with their own composition as well. You can't even rely too much on the ultimates they've got available. Chichu, Paranoia, flies forwards. A couple of shots fired out as well. He's going to be blind himself. He needs some help and backup. Has arrived in the form of Kang, but he's swiftly dealt with. That was the rifle. Dropped down. Chichu, though, still a problem. And Smoggy happy to deliver the death blow from the side. Yedajay, classic in hand. As
confidence enough to dismiss them, even just repping loud in the process, I guess, because they couldn't make it themselves.
Weapons down over towards Rubble. If he had the spike, this would be a great situation to threaten that he was heading off elsewhere and go and try to pick one of those up. But like you said, where is he going? But where can he go? He has to be predictable here and go over towards A. He's just trying to orb max.
Yeah, of course, that really important neuro theft.
Hey, listen, on the attack side, it actually can win you some really important rounds, especially when you're playing against a no sentinel comp. He gets that down, he's going to figure out where the gaps are.
Alert timings here, but nobody's going to be watching. Yeah, just for the smoke peek.
I think the question more so than what is the neural theft going to do is, what is a round going to do at this point for Foot? They're 6 behind now. Not only do they need this one, they need to then break the economy of EDG and start a spiral of their own. And Foot's comp, while they've had quite a lot of success with it, and it's been good for them, it's not an alt snowball comp. It's not like you have the lockdown and the showstopper and the nightfall to be able to work with. So this one's still going to be scrappy, still going to be difficult for Foot, even if they get on a roll.
Early push back there on the Yedajay. Standard attack side here for Foot, but you're right. Rifles in the hands. This is where you really need to get going if you are Foot. You are being pressured like hell. Yedajay needs some support, needs some help. The squeeze is occurring, but heads to the side. Nobody really watching for him. Smoggy at least will get that trade.
Felt like Yedajay was calling for help. Ada Captain came back and got counter-called, and Foot went into C instead. Yedajay strung out to dry, but takes one down. EDG like these kind of setups. It doesn't matter if they're playing full retake every time, as if they have the entirety of the map control.
Time for mount control. Ada Captain just needs to spot this one out. They realize they flipped them out.
Mound?
Yeah.
You can't plan for Mound when they're coming Mound.
They already have control of it, but we're kind of being caught. It's a little bit easier now. Only one real direction to pay attention to. Smoke in their faces. Util's going to be exchanged. Aftershock in through the choke as well, and rifles reloaded. EDG just primed and ready. Without a kill. Finding it lacking that initiating power, I think, to even get themselves in. Already time ticking away from them with the spike, and with the position it's placed in as well. There is no more chances to win this one out. They're looking to do that economical damage, if possible.
Chishu did force into this round, so the fact that he keeps that rifle is going to be important for EDG. They can keep rifles up for round 16. At the moment, what we're seeing is EDG leave one site completely open and pushing heavily the other two. They're trying to condition this idea that they are always going to be pushing, even on the defense side. But Foot are finding the right reactions here, which is to go into the free area and play a post-plant setup where you have space somewhere else.
As long as EDG just make it incredibly obvious of what they're trying to push and fight over, Foot's decision-making is going to get that much more easier here. Kankang, though, push his way up. Fault line does catch. Off onto Mound. He needs a little bit of help here. He's quite hard committed. They heard a TP. They think it's in the one-way, but Farland's already crossed up.
Foot at this point can tell it's not the same as the previous rounds. Prowler's coming out A.
A peak call here by nobody. Side by side with Simon. Aftershock's there. Takes a good timing with it right as the wall was going down, so Foot actually don't get any of that space. But on the opposite side of the map, that's Smoggy gone, taken out.
I mean, that's through a smoke, surely.
Not too sure, but a decision's now made here. Down to that 50-second mark. Chichu cuts it up onto the corner. Neurofeft, if they wait this one out, they will spot him. Paranoia is going to be forced as a result. Chichu, knowing he can't play there, repositions, backs away. EDG is split up, though. They can't hard anchor onto this side. And with that util saved into the back pocket, Rainy Day, it's called for. Foot starting to barrel their way through and over onto the seaside, but they made it quite obvious at this point. 30 seconds now. EDG getting some bodies into the fray, into the fight, but it's still that 3v5, and Cracks is not pushed back from that plant. Getting themselves into it. Flash to at least get Chichu and playing inside. Cam up into his face. Can land and adjust the shot in time. Seen there dropping him. Full control towards the back of the site. Need a miracle from EDG. You need mistakes from Foot. Stun into the back. There's no swing attempt off of the back of this here. Almost lining up for some sort of potential from nobody there. But Foot once more going to walk away with another round and starting to string them together at this point. That's 6 on the board.
And you're seeing the weaknesses of EDG's composition on the defense side. There were two players there ready to anchor the site, but they can't really do too much. Chishu's already used his paranoia to try to get out of the really uncomfortable spot he's in, and that neural theft that you were poo-pooing earlier on came through fairly handy, didn't it?
It did help, yeah.
It also gave them an amazing paranoia that knew where both players were and blinded both of them too. Foot are back into this game.
Cage triggered. Interesting. That is real interesting.
Disguising where you put the cam so that it survives for a little longer.
Yeah, it's a real interesting way to take that C-mount control. Early fight there, taken. Kang, I believe, had the marshal in hand. Just to see if you could potentially get that first kill advantage on their own half. By EDG have stacked this one with quite a lot of players. CNED is aware of the possibility, and even just pre-firing into tree. Won't catch this guy sleeping, not
He's
right now. Yeah, he is popping off after a relatively slow beginning. Smoggy going for the peak.
Don't
Don't use
using
the
that
ult.
ult.
Yeah, do not use that one. Save that one for another round here. This is a close and shut case here for Foot.
If we want to talk about the ults just for a second, while Smoggy has his as well, it's going to be very difficult for Smoggy to find good opportunities to use that. If he gets picked in a spot like this, even if it's rifles online 5v5, he can't sprint at Foot out through mount. So he's kind of got to save it for retake scenarios.
Yeah.
And what we saw from him on the attack side is, often, if things are going well, well enough that you would want to use the ult, then you didn't need to use the ult. Kang finally gets up in hand. The economy damage that Foot did early on and the fact that they've been winning these rifle rounds has stopped Kang from getting that weapon that he's known for. He is a sniper at his heart. He's picking it up and playing over towards A.
But the amount of targets that are going to be afforded to him are few and far between. It's only Yeta J, and he's not really going to be choosing to opt into that fight as well. The Horns and the stun will push him away. Smoggy willing to disrespect control over towards C-Mount. TP across again. Cloudburst and a flash over the top. This is a beautiful takeaway. You need to kill Smoggy in this spot. He's getting away with murder right now. Only 4 bullets left, but will he opt into using the ult to get back into the fight? Doesn't look likely.
CNED's got 2 health. What a whiff from him after he's been playing so well this map.
Yeah, real scrappy.
Oh, they know he's there.
Messi! Nice cue, given away by the cage, and Simon gives up his life. This is all over the place at this point here, but Foot are still in that driving seat despite the damage done to CNED and Ada Captain.
EDG need a huge play from somebody now.
And Kang, 1 kill offered up. Question is it even enough? Farland, plant, stuck and committed. Extension now into the round, into the post plant. Paranoia set up, Prowler as well. That gets the confirmation and acknowledgement, but a shot missed. Overdrive round to the side in the corner. No one to play off of it. In for the back of the side, lining them all up. Kang with 3. Nightfall is beautiful. Cracks. Last one left, and he is gone.
They needed a miracle, and Kang delivered. Of course it was him. The op shot on the entry, the pop of the overdrive, following up off the back of his initiator utility and dodging that breach ult. Yeta J got completely stuck there. Not a great post plant setup either from Foot, trying to play very heavy on site against that Nightfall. Difficult to make that work. But there you go, as soon as you get the op into Kang's hand, suddenly the defense looks like it works.
It's value earned. EDG stem the bleeding for just a little bit here, and they still, of course, hold the advantage in terms of rounds. This time, adjusting and moving up that positioning. Kang upping over towards C, wants to play in front of the Viper Orb.
And the cage did not defend the cam this time. It was broken. Foot are also jump peeking this at the start every time. They do that jump peek from on top of the boxes where you can just get your head over the top and see if there's an opper playing C.
In the
Decided to go
meantime,
A.
Yeah, full control over towards A, but the question is, can they clear Chichu? Cloudburst, it's an intelligent way to try and get your way and slip past into the side as well. Chichu still set up, still lands 2! My goodness, he was under a tremendous amount of pressure. for EDG now. That lifeline is delivered, and this could be that 12th round that they were looking for. TP, evacuation, backing away, Pit into the post, and Smoggy's fast, rapid into it, ult, not dead yet, he's back into the fray, back into the fight, pressing forwards, that is absurd. Sees though, connects onto the feet, and now the captain rooted to the side, needs that bailout fun, spraying and praying. Kang left alone now. In a 1v2, just the operator in his hands, you might have to call this one quits.
If he goes for it, he won't be able to buy an up again. EDG are at 11. They're already in the lead. You don't need to take risks like this and potentially lose a weapon that's so important for making your defense function. So as heartbreaking as it is, he's got to just let this one slip away. J is creeping.
He's hunting it out.
He's hearing.
Yeah, but the question is, will they be able to catch him? This guy is going to be lightning fast, getting all the way away from them here in the sound cues. Got to keep the up.
That is absolutely maniacal from Smoggy and nobody. The lack of coordination on that play is baffling for a team that has otherwise been playing fairly well today.
Yeah, I mean, this here.
This push forwards, nobody's supposed to trade this, right? And instead,
exactly.
Nobody backs up and throws a seize. I mean, get on the same page, please, if you're going to be making a play like that. They're chuckling about it now, but this gap is lowered to 3, and they're on an eco.
A little bit of bite towards the round, at least the Guardian, the rifle, the up, but as you said, Josh, the gap is narrowing. Odin spam away from falling just to cover the retreat. CNED dash expended nice and early.
I think the reason that this composition works for EDG, though, is that they have good enough players. Someone gets them around. And in a situation like this, the economy doesn't look good, but Foot are going to be cautious, they're going to be slow, and EDG are going to be taking risks. You will often see Thrifties converted in high-pressure moments like this.
EDG already trying to set themselves up to succeed. Looks like they wanted to commit to a push deep out here, up onto the site. This is full committal occurring, nobody right into the back of the site. Classic in hand, and Chichu, this position right here could do some damage and potentially cause some harm, but really no worse for the wear here from the Foot players. They do survive and get that plant down for them.
Planted.
EDG with a difficult task ahead. And a question of what they really want to commit into this one. With Simon's ult in the back pocket, do you save this one still with the gap closing? Swap around with the weaponry. Rifle now into the hands of Kang. Smoggy holds the approach. Perch stop gliding forwards, an attempt to play off of that util, but now the counter spam.
How do you get the op out?
And the counter play, how do you get the op out? It's hard committed, deep into the pit. Simon, where's this flash landing, man? Flicks it up to the side as well. Time is ticking away from it. Will collect at least the 1 kill, but the peak of the util is perfection. And right from behind with the wrap around, the op will not survive another day. Up to 9 now for Foot. The gap now just 2 rounds away from equalizing.
That's the risk of taking a weapon like that, heavily committed into an eco situation. You're unlikely to win. One player's coming in there without a weapon in hand. You don't want to use your big ultimate on Simon because you want to save that for the future. The same logic should apply to the op. So all right, they don't have that to work with. Can they make the ult work for them? The gap closes to 2. C completely open. I mean, look at this. The defensive side has holes in it every single round.
Insanely as well, this hard read. I don't know if it is a hard read, but Foot just already making a move over towards the C side. J wants nothing to do with the A contestation. He can feel the pincer. They tried that move on him before. He's not going to fall prey for it this time. He survives and tries to play for his life.
So last time, they also planted towards Mound, didn't take any spawn or waterfall control.
Doing it again. This time trying to play for Mound. You hear so many footsteps, J, you absolute madman. Paranoid up though, blinded, he needs some help, and bailout will be afforded and wrist played. Now as the squeeze is coming in, Rolling Thunder at least to relieve that pressure. Smoggy is ridiculous. Can't quite squeeze himself right through the doors. It just closes shut between him and the site. It's going to be flipped around once more. Foot though, only 2 of their players surviving. One ways, blooming and blossoming. Foot are scrambling now. Players rummaging and rumbling towards the site. This is just absolutely absurd for Fallen to deal with. Damage done. Dodging and weaving. Phantom in hand. CNED last one left, but not for much longer.
I don't understand how Foot can have seen that exact idea come out from EDG before, recognize it in the first 10 seconds of the round, and decide to fight Mound control.
It's perplexing.
That's bonkers to me.
Yeah.
The door's going to get opened. You're going to get pushed from the back. Why not reactively yourself push forwards and plant for spawn. Go and take spawn control. Go and take waterfall. Plant for those positions that you can fight over. And instead, Foot are getting caught both times, planting for mound and trying to control that area, playing exactly into EDG's hand. That was the round they needed to put them onto map point.
It forces the timeout now from Foot.
And I mean, guys might just be saying the same stuff that I am, which is, guys, what on earth are you doing? Flip the map, you know, go and take some of their territory. You know it's undefended because you know they're all behind you. A back-to-back tactical timeout.
Back-to-back timeout?
EDG also taking a tac timeout off the back of this?
Not too sure. Could be some confusion from us in terms of actually who initially called it, but
possible.
Sure, we'll get it cleared up.
But it's looking long.
Yeah, it is looking long, isn't it? Yeah. Says EDG timeout.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, EDG
time to
up
discuss.
Yeah, I mean, they probably need another strategy here, right? Foot are gonna learn from their mistakes. You can't just run the same push out B, push out A strat to get to 13, probably. So what do you do to be able to get over the line here? They've been winning about 1 in 3, 1 in 4 defense rounds. I mean, 1 in 4 puts them at overtime.
The pressure is settling in because EDG, they do just need the one. As you already mentioned, it can come from any one of these players. They're talented and skilled enough to be able to do so. Seen it. Rips it away. Stun connecting though, and a bit of counter spam. Just the rifles in hand. That's nice work. Spike's going to be dropped down hard, committed and past that point of really no return. Foot though have to make some compromises. Yeta J opening this door with a paranoia swing. Rifle play. Yeta J. This guy is a menace, and he is going to save the day, isn't he? Simon quick on their trail right from behind. Will Foot make the same mistake again as the doors open wide? Got to flip the side, and this time they do plan towards it.
Yeah, now they're planting towards spawn. But Mr. Fallen doesn't feel confident about getting over there. He has a teleport. They've actually planted for spawn and playing waterfall, and no one's playing spawn.
Deep Sea's close, Haunt as well, smokes in their face, EDG, chances, nobody's primed and ready, and now the ult's let loose. This guy might have found that chance, follow the trail, and you might be rewarded just with the map win, but as it fades away, classic in hand. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me! Nobody! My God! That's how the map finishes!
Ridiculous fashion. EDG take Foot's pick of Lotus. It could come from anyone, it could come from anywhere. I think the C's that he threw pulled Yeta J off the high ground.
There's no way.
I think so.
There's no way.
Yeta J ended up being dragged down to the floor.
Listen, that's a 0.25 in YouTube jobber if I've ever heard one, but that's map 1 wrapped up. What a series. Electric all the way through. And guess what? Plenty more maps left to come potentially. We'll see you soon.
I'm here right now with Coach Muggle of EDG and Luna to help with some translation. Now, Muggle, I think everybody was like really hyped. They're really surprised with that, especially since Lotus isn't exactly one of your strongest maps over in VCT China. So can you tell us how were you guys able to adjust and look that strong on this map?
大家都非常的惊喜，因为大家很多人可能很多人都会觉得说，在新人赛区的时候，莲花古城并不是我们的强途之一。但是你们今天做的打得更好了，做得很棒。你们是做了哪些调整，能够做到这样的成就呢？
没有什么特别的调整，因为这个图就是我们的强途。
We didn't do adjustment specially because this is our strong map.
Ooh, I like that. It seems as though EDG is well equipped and well prepared for VALORANT Champions. So let's see if they can close out this second one.
Well, I can tell you one thing. If you like slinging some mud, you can enjoy that matchup with a lot of glee because that was, at moments, a beautiful mud show. Lots of great moments there. Obviously, EDG pulling through at the end there. And can we please talk about my boy Smoggy for a hot minute here? This guy absolutely lit the server on fire in that one, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was just ridiculous on this map. They're playing this weird comp with the Omen and the Clove, and I think Smoggy, well, some of the utility was impactful with like the one-ways and things like that to scale space. He defined this game by these individual moments. His mechanics were absolutely on point, and he clutched some really critical rounds to keep EDG in control of what was quite a close game.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely frying. Remember when this guy was a sub?
Yeah.
When he wasn't on the starting roster?
What was that, Champions 2020? That was their debut match?
Yeah, that was when they were playing over in Istanbul. And yeah, Smoggy, he has just very much been at home in the starting roster ever since then. This guy performing, and I think he's kind of summarized it and set it up really well, Mimi, was with saying that Foot had never really played against anything like this. And I think we started seeing them figuring out the machinations of this comp as time had gone on. But that start of the map, that streak that EDG was able to accrue, I think they just did way too much damage early on. That Foot, even though they were starting to figure out how to pilot against it, it was just unrecoverable from there.
I think the biggest thing with the attack was that EDG was constantly getting space in a lobby or C-Mount, whichever one they wanted to fight for. I think the smokes are really good for that, and the scaling off this Neon was really nice consistently. So Foot had to play a lot of these rounds where they were either like hard anchoring or playing into the flood retakes, and this comp for EDG actually had like a lot of tools to, I think, especially counter out and like fight past those like retaking players. And honestly, I was really impressed. I thought the implementation was pretty good. It wasn't an insane game from Kong Kong, but I think he did his job on the Neon, and they played some real solid Valorant to get that map won.
Yeah, he still did have some pretty nutty moments.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just triple sliding around that ace site, just hitting headshots.
I just wanted to see him break some ankles, and that's what I got.
He got a couple.
He did a few, so to me, job done. But the thing is, though, there were some great moments there for Foot. Actually, one of them in particular, this is a HyperX Reflex moment of the day, round 11. Reason why I like this round in particular was because the way that it started prior to this incredible couple of shots from Cracks was really just some awesome aggression that we were seeing from Foot, really just not allowing EDG to get any kind of ground whatsoever. They were using their utility perfectly well, and then you had obviously those individual moments shine, and just Cracks just, well, was cracked here.
I mean, we kind of, you know, we heard
I'm so proud of myself for that.
Sideshow saying it, just, you know, I hadn't seen it just change seats, had he just taken over his PC, and that moment had he possessed him. Because it was just an incredible
That was all Cracks, baby.
Shots.
That was all Cracks. You know, and I want to keep seeing that, honestly. But that does make me very excited for what we could potentially be getting into map 2 here, maybe.
Yeah, we're heading into Bind after that, which I think is an interesting one, right? We saw both teams play kind of an off-meta comp on map number 1, and I think that's going to continue into the second map. It's another one of the ones where we've seen EDG experimenting. They've really broken out of their shell in Stage 2 China, so excited to see what both these teams are going to lock in, and if Foot has what it takes to bounce back here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what we end up getting out of this one here. But for now, let's hear what the Foot coach had to say, guys, as we get ready for map number 2.
I'm here right now with guys of Foot Esports, and we have caster and translator extraordinaire Scarlett to help me out as well. And now, guys, so that was a really intense first map. I'm curious what part of the game plan didn't exactly work out, and how do you feel going into Bind, which is EDG's map pick up next?
Çok sert ve başa baş bir ilk maçtı. Sizce ilk haritada oyun planınızda neler yanlış gitti ve Bind'e giderken kendinizi nasıl hissediyorsunuz?
Yani alışık olmadığımız komptu.
Biraz oyunun başına zorlandık. Ondan sonra biraz daha oyun ortalarına gelince, pistolde verince biraz daha rahat açıldı. Tekrardan kapattık, tekrardan açıldı. Derken bir half echo'ya ya da echo'ya map'i kapattırdık. Kötüydü. Bind tarafında da bir soru vardı galiba. Bind tarafında da son zamanlarda en çok üzerine koymaya çalıştığımız harita. Ne kadar onların piki olsa da umarım bizim için güzel olur.
In the first map, they played a comp that we were not that much used to. So they put a lot of points between us. Then we managed to catch up, but then we lost the pistol and the gap got a little wide again. We caught up again, but then they managed to take it home. And in terms of bind, I can tell that it is the map that we study most on. We try to definitely improve ourselves on bind, so we will see how it goes on the next map, despite them picking it.
Well, it sounds like you're well prepared. Thank you very much, and we're going to see if Foot can manage to take this map.
All right, great words there from Coach Gaius, but let's go ahead and send it over to the casters. Get ready for this second map. Will we get a map 3? Brennan Sideshow, it's all you.
Yeah, bind is what we're looking at already, seeing adjustments just on the composition side here. Foot moving away from like the Omen is a bit more unconventional from them, and also the KO, and they're going to the bog standard stuff, trying to really just mirror match it in terms of that meta comp that's really just dominated this map.
Going to be a completely different bind compared to Lotus, where on Lotus we saw two teams with non-meta aligning identities clashing against each other, trying to figure each other out live. This is going to be who can come up with the better game plans with the bind comp at the moment that almost all of the top teams are playing. And they're playing it for a reason. It's got really good reclearability, plant denial, all of this kind of stuff. It also, roughly speaking, fits what these teams want to be putting their players onto. So now it comes down to execution.
These teams have had plenty of time to discuss and talk as well. I mean, there's nothing really to carry away too much from that initial map. As you know, we were hearing from the coach interviews. Barely a pistol round getting away from Foot that really would have made them even competitive to even drag it to OT potentially. But smallest of differences, and now we look towards bind to see if we will get that map number 3. Or is it all just going to end here for EDG? A nice, great beginning, to be honest. They'd love to win this one in a 2-0 fashion after the kind of horrific beginning that they had in Shanghai.
That's absolutely true. And Foot did have a really strong Shanghai performance. They beat Leviathan, they beat Fnatic. These are big scalps for Foot to have taken. But they were 1-1 against the Chinese squads. Don't forget, Foot lost to FPX. And with Trace beating Vitality and FPX close to Team Heretics at this event, might be time for EDG to take another big win of their own.
Let's get to it then. EDG with a setup here, nice early haunt up and over the top. That's not going to be pre-aimed. I mean, I think it's supposed to be landing on top of the grate as well, but it ended up missing and still getting the value here. Spam, shots fired right through the smoke. In through a short, jump spot not punished. Kang over the nade. Push them back and away on either side here. It's a battle on multiple fronts and a wrap around by Mr. Fallen. Unexpected. Here's the footsteps. Pitter-patter of it. Simon. Always bait.
There's another one coming though.
But yeah, Fallen. A lot of areas to look for. They just can't quite manage to just get a handle on any of them. At this point here, pistol round. Distant dream for this Foot team. They got CNED and Yedajay still holding on standby. Oh, and with that fight lost, really no chance in hell. CNED would have to toggle. But the players' positions, EDG not giving anything away. Just a slight jiggle, and Simon, he squares up to him. Enough to deliver that final blow. Bullet to the brain. And a pistol round again gained here for EDG.
A nice one from EDG. They kept it fairly simple. That horn lineup, actually, that is where that's supposed to land. Simon throws that one all the time. It is weird, because you can throw one on top of the grate. DRX kind of do. But the fact that Foot weren't ready for it, to me, is a bit of a worrying sign for the Turkish team.
Yeah,
because,
red flag raised.
Yeah, because that's the one that Simon throws every single time on this map. And so if you're not ready to pre-aim that, you're probably not ready for a lot of the other stuff they're going to bring to bind. It's probably not a map that you've done a lot of anti on coming into this match. Because the middle of the map pools for both of these teams are very similar. It could have been Bind, Sunset, Icebox, any of those maps that EDG ended up picking.
Nobody just needs to survive with this rifle into his hands as well. He's got plenty of players that are trying to bring him down with a horn, pointing him out. So Offsets and hands that rifle. Here's the adjustment and reaction out of EDG.
Chichu could go down here as well.
Okay. It's already into their faces. Chichu could have gone down, but now he's going to be trying to sync this one up. CNED running them down with a shorty. Kang, quick to respond. Dropping all of them. Bulldog here had a captain's grasp, but 2v3, you're smoked off. Horn's going to be available in at least 4 seconds, but predictable with the pathing, so EDG get the sightline set on it.
Ada Captain should want this Bulldog to remain out of EDG's hands. If they go for this and they die and it's recoverable, that's a problem.
Kang eager to hunt down these kills as well. Built up 3 already. Spike's ticking, yeah, you got to respect that one now at this point, but already steadily building up towards that ult. 4 away, you got to think, you farm up some quick orbs. If Foot were giving up extremity control that easily from what we saw in the pistol round.
And EDG, with a bit of damage done there to their economy, are going to be able to take 1 less gun into this next round. Somebody's going to have to go onto an eco, but they'll still be fine. They'll still put a pretty dangerous bonus. Kankan at the moment is finding a lot of value out of the Sheriff. He's just running around body-shotting everybody.
Enemy remaining.
He's finding value from it.
Yeah. He's sitting at the top, so bonus round. EDG looking to try and convert this one as well. Get off to a blitzer and start. CNED's postured away. Sees nade held here, but really, what's the contact? J already going to be offloading that one. There's a mosh pit through the TP, not much else behind it. EDG are happy to wait most of this out. Dizzy up and over the top. Nade rebounds. Smokey's all the way in there as well. He's the first point of the contact. Rifles though, that is ridiculous. The Turkish Aim Classic rears its head for a flawless shutdown of the bonus round.
Very nicely done there from Foot. EDG are going to mostly be running, when they exec A, 4-1 execs. They have Chishu late backstab showers, and the other 4 come down short. Slightly different how other teams do it. A lot of other teams will be running their fade, kind of coming through showers, like Simon did this time. It's not standard for EDG. But Foot dealt with it all the same. No problems whatsoever. But that was a weaker buy. And arguably, the site that Foot are looking to lock down the heaviest. They've got 3 players on A defending. Whereas Mr. Fallen and Ada Captain quite alone over here on the B side of the map.
Very much alone. There's no punish as well on the